Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majestic back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Studios with your Talking Live forecast update here on your June the 17th, 2026. Wrapping up our Wednesday with some pretty good weather, sunshine, warm temperatures, really not bad at all, staying precipitation free, at least for the moment. But the big weather story of the day has to be the fact that we have our first named storm of the tropical season. That's Tropical Storm Arthur over off the Texas coast, and it's going to have a say on what our weather's going to be like as we go into your Thursday and Friday, that's for sure. Now, before we get rolling here on this full report, if you're new here to the Talking Live broadcast channel Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you happen to be watching over on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. More importantly, make sure you hit that notification bell to be alerted on all future weather updates just like this one. All right, let's dive into this report, shall we? As we take a pretty good look there at Chattanooga here for the early afternoon hours. Sunshine, pleasant clouds out there, looking very nice. Warm temperatures, feeling pretty good. Same across North Georgia as well, looking over toward Helen with some sunshine and a few cumulus clouds around. We'll stay pretty much precipitation free today. But again, like I said, that's going to change for tomorrow. So here's the big news story. Yeah, we've got Arthur. Yeah, you know I had to put that little clip in there as well with the movie Arthur from 1980. Anyway, our little storm is sitting here right along the Texas coast, and it's moving up in this direction. Eventually, will make its way into Mississippi and into Alabama as we go in for later tomorrow. Now, this storm is very poorly organized. If you notice, the center of circulation is sitting somewhere over here. These thunderstorm tops are being blown right off to the east, so we got some wind shear there. So not very organized, but a tremendous amount of tropical moisture that is going to be heading in this general direction and bring with it some heavy rains and some flooding rains at that. The question mark still remains just how far north this system's going to get as far as potential rainfall amounts. I don't think East Tennessee will have to worry all that much. North Georgia, maybe just a little bit, but we're going to break it all down for you here on this update. So let's go take a look at the regional radar perspective. Again, you've seen some of the rains here down across Alabama, Georgia, and into the Florida Panhandle. Again, here's our main storm system back here. East Tennessee and North Georgia looking pretty good here on your Wednesday afternoon. Looking at the local radar, as you can see, we're all clear locally. And as we take a look at the watches and warnings, you can see we are anticipating the heavier rains down into Georgia. And this stretches all the way back toward Texas, all that flash flood watches that are currently up there in the green. And of course, you see the tropical storm warnings here right along the coast there of Texas and over toward Louisiana. Now, as we look at our current temperatures, things warming up nicely. We're into the upper 70s. We'll see some 80s for this afternoon's highs. Feeling pretty good for today, but that humidity is definitely coming up. And the big thing we got to watch with this storm coming this way is the excessive rainfall potential with this storm. So that's going to be the big part of this. So as we take a look at tomorrow, going into Thursday, you notice all of East Tennessee and North Georgia have that potential for some heavy rains in some local pockets. The main thrust of the precipitation, I feel, is the heaviest is going to be down here toward the south. That's where that moderate risk is sitting in there. And that's where I think the 6-inch plus rain totals are going to fall. And generally, if we get any kind of heavy rains across East Tennessee and North Georgia, I'm thinking kind of a 1 to 2 inch category there. And as we go into your Friday, that kind of lingers there a little bit. Notice it kind of backs off there across East Tennessee, North Georgia there in the green. That's down to 5%. And then as we go into Saturday, we're going to clear out. Saturday and Sunday, both looking pretty decent. Although we got another storm system coming in late on Sunday that may bring some rains back up across Tennessee as we go into the day on Sunday. Now, there is a severe component with this storm as well. As we take a look at that, again, you can see the severe weather risk there along the Gulf Coast there. They're in yellow there for today. And as we look at our day 2 outlook, right now it's just showing a general level 1 risk here all across our region. So there might be some pockets of storms in here. And there's also going to be some winds aloft with this system as well. So I've been looking at some of the wind gusts on some of the models showing potentially up to 45 mile per hour winds. Again, not quite severe weather criteria, but some gusty winds, a possibility with some of the storms that fire up with this system as it moves through our area. So let's take a look at some of the model data. Let's look at this first. We're looking at the high resolution model run here for right now, and I'm going to slow this down a little bit so you can get an idea of what's going on there. Again, watch that little timestamp there. So it looks like we're just seeing some scattered storms there in the morning hours, and then this thing kind of races up to the north. So we get some rains here across the area as this surges on up in here, all right? Now, let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit closer here just to kind of get a better perspective here so you can kind of watch all that moisture coming at us here. So this comes on up. We got a surge of moisture there. But the real crust of the storm, it looks like to me, at least on this model, is whatever is up to that center of circulation is going over Atlanta. No, it's not going up here, but down to our south. Okay, so again, but it's still spreading some decent rains out ahead of the system. And as it goes by, some pretty good rains here going into Thursday night. And then we got a frontal system. You see that additional rain coming through here going into Friday morning. As we're looking at some of that rain coming in here, again, we're going to be seeing some of that heavier rain. And once this goes by, we'll see things begin to improve. And the weekend, again, not looking bad once this thing goes by. Now, let's compare this with another model. Let's look at the rapid refresh model. Again, I just want to take a couple of the short-term models for comparison, just to kind of take a look, see if there are any differences between the two. And again, here is the rapid refresh. Again, still showing some rain potential there in the morning, just a little bit, not nearly as much as the high resolution, mind you, but you see that there. And the core of the system kind of still going over Atlanta, but really kind of spreading the heavier rains down to the south. Look at all the thunderstorms down here, showing up down here with the heavier rains down here, and not kicking out as much of the heavier precipitation here across North Georgia on this particular model. But still, generally, the core still looks like it's going right over the city of Atlanta there, and then goes on by. So we got a couple of them there, and then there's the front coming on through, but not a whole lot of precipitation with that. So let's take a look at the precipitation totals. Let's see how they compare out. We're just looking at both the short-term models here. I'm going to get a little bit closer. And let's take a look at the totals here. So this here is the rapid refresh, the one we just looked at. I'm going to take this all the way out to the end of its run. And as you can see, not overly bad at all. We're looking at, a third of an inch here at Chattanooga. There's 1 inch there. Really just some pockets here. Bad. So the rapid refresh says, nope, a lot of heavy rain stays south. We're not going to have to worry about it. Now let's look at the high resolution model. We'll do that one as a comparison. Different story there. We got a lot more heavier rains across North Georgia. So again, I think for the most part, we're going to see 1 to 2 inches. I think we can handle that for the most part. I think the heavier precipitation chances will stay down to the south. You see this tracking moisture here across Mississippi and Alabama there, where the heavier precipitation is going to be. And I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be able to handle this. But there will be some occasional gusty winds with a few of these storms as they move on through. So as we look at our forecast maps here, again, that cold front coming on down is what's picking up our tropical system as it's diving to the south and going to shunt all that moisture off the East Coast. So no changes in that forecast philosophy. And then once that goes on through, we're going to have a decent weekend. Saturday's looking good. Sunday, though, the rain chances come back late, and we're looking a little wet going into Monday of next week. So here's our forecast. Keep the umbrella handy. Rain likely, 84.73 there in Chattanooga for your high temperature. Again, looking at your morning lows here across our area, very muggy. You're going to notice the humidity definitely coming up. Very tropical air mass there. And as we go into the afternoon, obviously depending on where the rain's coming on here, it doesn't change all that much because of clouds and rain and precipitation. We're pretty much going to stay in the 70s for the most part. If we do hit the 80s, we'll hit it briefly and then cool back down, okay? That's how that particular model's looking. Regionally, you can see the rain impact here by the 5 o'clock temperatures all across the southeast. Temperatures being kept down, except for some 90s. Still some heat over there, over to the Carolinas, but they're going to eventually cool off as well with that arrival of that cold front this weekend. All right, so here's the 7-day forecast. Here we go. Again, that rain chance on Friday looks like that's going to be early in the day. I think the afternoon we drying out, and Saturday's looking pretty good. Sunday, some late day showers and storms. Monday's looking wet with our next cold front coming on in here. And then we'll see what happens going into Tuesday and Wednesday. There's some differences in the model opinion here between the European and GFS right now. But at least we're not looking at any oppressive heat coming back anytime soon. And this rain pattern continues, which means we're going to continue to improve the drought conditions across East Tennessee and North Georgia. Now, with all this precipitation coming at us, folks, I can't advise you enough. Go ahead and take a snapshot of this. If you're watching on your phone, go and take a snapshot. There's the QRC code there for the Apple Store, and there's the QR code for Google Play, Android. You go and download our free weather app here. This is a great app. It's going to alert you when the rain's approaching your area, lightning nearby, hour-by-hour forecast. It also will give you a future cast, of kind of extrapolating where a potential radar image is currently at and where it's going to go in the next hour. Go and download this. It's it's a free tool, and it's one of the best in the business. It's sponsored by our friends at Roof It Forward there in Woodstock, Georgia. And if you are in need of a roof, by the way, these guys do great quality work, and every job they do, they give a portion back to children's charity. So we appreciate them being our app sponsor. So again, a pretty busy day ahead for us for tomorrow. Again, I'm not expecting anything too widespread. I think we can handle this pretty well. Again, the concern was if the track was going to come northward, we would get some heavy rains there. The fact that this thing is moving too, it's moving at a decent clip. I don't think the rains will be overly bad, but there could be some localized flooding in pockets that we're just going to have to keep a watchful eye on. Again, appreciate you guys checking us out here on the Talking Live broadcast channel. Please give us a follow, and over on Facebook, on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, hit that notification bell to be alerted on all future weather updates. All right, that's it for today. Y'all take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be recording early tomorrow as we got to go back into Atlanta to play weatherman in town. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.